I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Ortonville Village Council. It is Thursday, April 16th. It is 6:05 or so. This meeting is now called to order. I would like to ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And maybe Thomas, the village clerk, can lead us, if you don't mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. When it comes to the fact that we are in a special meeting, I need to ask for notes to be taken. In other words, so that we have minutes of this meeting. And we called earlier today, and normal clerk that takes our minutes, because this is a special meeting, turns out that it's not available. So we will just have to fix the minutes ourselves. And
Ashley's got everything.
yes, and believe me, I will slow down and I'll make sure that everything.
I brought triggers and nuts. So
Well,
I think
you're already halfway ahead of the game. Given the fact that you're going to do it, that means that you get to do a roll call if we don't.
Okay. Does that have to be in a specific order, or can I go by it?
You can go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. No formality.
We'll make it easy. Quisenberry?
Here.
Nivell. No. Okay. Green? Here. Moles? Here. Brooks? Here. Hayden?
Here.
Fokker?
Here.
And that's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Well, thank you very, very much for that. Next, we have an agenda, and I know it's changed quite a bit, or at least it has several different times. The most recent one I have shows new business with A through E as items. And does anybody have any changes or additions or deletions that they would like to make to the agenda?
I don't see Bob Hepswell here.
I don't either. I mean, I talked to him. I talked to
I know
him
he's
this morning.
planning on coming. Maybe move him down front.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when Bob comes, everything will come to a halt and we'll listen to what he has to say. And you're right. Bob's not here right now, right?
I don't see.
Okay, no, but he did mention, I did talk to him this morning, and he knew that there was a meeting this morning this evening at 6. The purpose of our phone call was he's got a project going on with the four corners of the main street in town, Mill Street and Church Street, and we have some brick pavers that have just been nagging us and been a problem for a long time. Anyway, he proposed a solution to us about how to take up the old brick pavers and put down maybe a more solid base, and then get something that's more lasting and that's more safe, because right now there are these paver blocks that when the frost comes, they freeze, they go down, they freeze, they come up, they freeze, they go down. So over a period of time, that's where we're at. If Bob were here, he would outline for us his suggestion on how to fix the four corners right at the town in front of us. In other words, I don't know what he's determined, but Bob Hoxwell, and the previous village manager have spoke many times about how to fix that. I kind of tend to want to lean on the ideas that Bob had as maybe the more corrective measures. But if he's here and if he shows up, I'm going to take a time out and give him an opportunity to explain this to us, because we have to approve the expenditures for repairing these four corners in town. That's just what we have going on. That's A. That's the...
I make approval, or I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented with moving DPW Director along.
Perfect.
Support.
Moved and supported. Those in favor of moving that from the agenda to whenever it happens, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that one's done. Trustee resignation letter. I know Melanie Nivell sent me an email asking, or she sent me an email yesterday explaining her resignation and that she asked that it be on the agenda today. I did not bring a letter for everybody, but I hope everybody received at least a copy of it in their email. And if so, we've all received it, and it speaks for itself. That's all I can say about.
Yeah. She left that envelope for you on your desk.
Okay. Do you think this is for today's meeting?
Yes, that's the lot.
Okay, well, this is like a game show, I suppose. However, somehow I think I'm not the winner. This is actually a copy of what we had already been sent, I believe. Is that true, or is this different?
That's done. All this to be read.
Okay, perfect. So anyway, we are in receipt of a letter, and I think it got emailed to all the other board members as well. So I think the notification part of this has been taken care of. And with that in mind, I'm going to request that we accept this letter of resignation from Trustee Nidbelt.
Please.
I make a motion that regrettably you accept the resignation of Melanie Nidal.
And I'll concur that regrettably belongs in that motion.
Yeah.
Is there support? Okay, moved and supported about
I'm sorry where you're at.
about Melanie resigning from the village council, and it sounds like the village council has made a motion in support to accept that resignation. And all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed
I don't want to accept it.
can't accept that.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to either, but we don't.
I know we don't have a choice, but I have to vote it like how.
You can. Let's see. That's the trustee letter. Village management workshop. This is one of the ongoing things that we have going every spring, which is preparing for our new budget. Our budget runs from June 30th every year until July 1st of the next year. Therefore, we are in a position of we're at the close of our current fiscal year, and we're going to be encompassing a new fiscal year. This is the time, again, we would be doing a workshop, we would be doing budgets, we would be doing analysis of our audit and making plans for the future years coming up. Given some recent the recent employment issues within the village, meaning our village manager has been terminated, and we now get to pick up the pieces and try to put this back together. Part of our meeting tonight is to decide which way to move forward with the selection of a new village manager. But we also have to keep in mind that we have to work on a budget, and we have to have something presented prior to our June meeting about what the next year's budget's going to look like. So it's mostly dollars and cents and moving, transferring lines from this item to that item, but nonetheless, it's necessary. We have to do that, and that's coming up again in the next month. The next month to 6 weeks, we will be finalizing that. At this meeting, we would have discussed if we had the village manager here and we had a working budget, we could probably narrow that down a bit. But the position that we're in right now is we don't even have one, or we don't have one that we can approve or to make adjustments to. So at the moment, our budget is in limbo. We certainly have the old budget that we have to work from, so we're not completely in the dark. However, if we want to somehow redefine the way that budget looks, I think we should do that. I did get an opportunity today, and actually late last week, to speak with the village lawyer, the attorney that the village has. I also got a chance today to speak in great length with the village auditor, who is the company that did an audit for us this past August. They submitted that to us in December, and we received it here at the last month or two. So our audit has been done. The auditor makes some recommendations. Most of them need to be addressed immediately because they're just of utmost concern. We cannot just ignore the fact that our budget is a shambles. And we're looking at the bank accounts and where the money is and where it went, and making sure that everything's been taken care of according to accounting practices that are accepted everywhere. So that's what we're going to do. Our mission tonight, or at least our meeting tonight, is to decide to discuss this, and just to let everyone on this board be aware that these are the things that I've become aware of, meaning things that the attorney has told me and things that the auditor has told me and things that I've learned from the office staff and those in the village who are concerned and like myself, very, very concerned about that we take the proper steps that we need. We're just not in the best position that we would like to be in right now, and I think everybody on this board feels the same way. However, we have to just go forward. And with that, we no longer have a village manager. We need to decide. It says village management workshop. When I spoke with the village lawyer today, who is Mike Gilner, and Mike suggested, he's a municipal lawyer out of, I don't know, Flint, Shorts Creek, somewhere in there. And I wanted to mention to him that what our situation is, and he has a lot of contacts. He suggested that we utilize the services of the Michigan Municipal League to help us in our search for a new village manager. And I also mentioned to him the prospect that we might think of a temporary manager to take to do the daily duties of the village manager until we have an opportunity to go through an extensive search for the permanent village manager. So we could end up with a permanent one sooner rather than later, but in the meantime, we still have to cover all of our bases. Therefore, I asked him to put something out to the people that he's aware of in the legal profession who have held positions of a village manager in the past and are familiar with it, but they're not looking to, engage the village in a long-term employment situation. However, they may very well be happy to sit and take care of the day-to-day responsibilities that the village has. So we have both of those are in the wheelhouse for us to consider. Obviously, the one that happens the soonest is the best, which means if we're able to find somebody quickly, hey, that's great. I'm all for that. But if this drags on for a week or two or maybe longer, we are going to need somebody to fill those shoes on a temporary basis. And if they're interested in the long term, that's great. But if not, we still need to get somebody there soon. And I believe we would all agree with that. So with that, I just want to go around the table and ask, when it comes to searching for a replacement for the village manager, again, I mentioned MML. I mentioned that the lawyer has some people in mind. The accountant has people in mind, and these are all people that work in the municipal field, so they're aware of, people around us and other municipalities that might have similar needs or looking for some sort of guidance from people who have been there before. So we have all of the, everything's been put out there. It hasn't yet. It will be as of tomorrow, we will begin our search earnestly to find a replacement for the village manager. Whether that be somebody very temporary who just says, hey, I can do it for a month or two and I can make sure that they put out the fires until we go through the interview process, that would be great. If not, we just keep chugging along. But at the moment, that's kind of where the village management sits at this point, is our search is beginning and we are keeping our options open for something permanent, and we're also keeping our options open for something that's temporary. That's the village management workshop update. Please.
Well, it's actually technically fact. Melanie would request it to read the letter out loud.
No, I'm not going to. The letter's entered into the record. I don't need to read 2 pages of a letter. Thank you so much, but but in her behalf, I want this letter to be noted as part of the record.
Okay.
And that I know she mentioned several times the other day at the meeting that she actually began every sentence with, I'm saying this for the record, which I know that she means she wants somewhere it to be recorded.
Okay.
Which is wonderful. I don't doubt that. But this is her letter. It's here. It will be at the village office. Okay. And if anybody wants to review it, they certainly can. But, we're accepting it.
So last 2 days ago when I asked about a plan B, the plan B is now to talk about it. I'm a little disappointed that you guys called for his resignation 55 days into his thing, and then you guys don't even have a plan yet. I was expecting to hear something more than we're going to talk about it for you. But you're our leadership, and I really was expecting that.
Okay, well, if we waited 5 days and we were sitting here 5 days from now, we would be in the exact
Well,
same
so I'm
spot.
going to hold you the same policy that you held then.
Okay.
So I expect some stuff pretty quick then from you.
You heard what I had to say?
Yeah, I know.
And-
You're the one in charge now.
I think you are. I think we all are.
I'm still learning.
Why is this all of a sudden my issue?
Because you're the president.
How about this? It's everybody's issue. It's everybody's issue. We all have the same concerns.
Okay.
And,
So 55 days ago, you said you guys had some interviews from some other people. What about those people for temporary?
I don't think I ever said that.
Okay.
I truly don't.
Okay.
Because I shouldn't say I didn't anticipate this. I expected this for the past 4 or 5 months.
And then when you expected that you were going to call this on Monday, who did you have in mind for Plan B?
We're looking for a plan B. We're looking for a replacement.
Okay. I expect some news quickly from you.
How about some news from you quickly?
Sure. Let's
Any
put
news?
some stuff out online. I'm absolutely tell me what I would like me to put out, sir. No problem. You're our president.
You're on this council as well as I am.
Yes, I am.
And you know what the needs of the village are, so we need to
Yeah,
find.
and we were making sure the needs were happening until Monday.
Okay, and so what you're saying is because we are acting 5 days sooner, that somehow the result is different.
I'm happy to be here, and let's keep talking.
There we go. Okay.
I also have a comment when
And if you're completed, that's fine. And yes, sir, Larry.
Okay. First of all, Ken, to your statement that we all are, technically, as president, you are the chief executive of the village. All of the village manager's responsibilities are derived from the president's authority as the chief executive. So technically, it's correct. In the absence of the village manager, you are the one who is in control of the village. Okay. We're the legislative body as being the trustees. So that's the reality, is technically you are the head of the village and responsible for the operation. So I do agree with Alex's point that it is your responsibility to have a plan B. Having said that, you stated your plan B is to try to go around on temp resources.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last sentence.
You said your plan B is to try to find somebody to fill on a temp basis. What about contract services? Do we have, or does MML or any of those other resources maybe can refer us to some contract services we could bring in to provide those, to fill in that gap until such time as we have somebody for a position? Because I believe there's probably some kind of contract services that can help out a village like ours to fulfill the village manager duties until we have a chance to hire somebody. Okay. Have you investigated that yet?
Yeah, that was part of my discussion today when I mentioned earlier that I said we were actually looking for a full-time, but we're also seeking the possibility of a temporary village manager to fill the shoes and fill the seat over here. And the village manager, the village attorney is, well, I already knew that MML was a good resource, but.
Well, my point is that a temporary village manager is a little different from a contract service. The contract service says, okay, we go to this company, say, we need somebody to come and help out with village manager services. And then they would provide a person. And if that person wasn't available, they would have somebody else who could step in. You know, that's how contract services work as opposed to hiring somebody as temporary. So that's why I was wondering if you checked into contract services as well.
I'm open for that. I would love people to step forward and to do that, and I've put the word out as best as I can. But of course, as you know, we're only a handful of days into the fact that we don't have a village manager anymore. So those options are always open. If anybody on this village council has a recommendation or a suggestion as to how the temporary fix comes about, I'm open for that. Of course, the whole council is open for it. We need to protect the village, and we'll do that any way that we decide, that this body decides is the right way to go forward. Hence, the purpose of this meeting was only to agree on a path forward for replacing the village manager who is no longer employed with the village, and how can we best protect the village and have a manager and move forward. That's it. When it comes to temporary versus permanent, a temporary somebody is a great idea. I mean, honestly, I would say somebody who presented themselves to this board in the next week to 10 days and said they're willing to do this, I would certainly entertain that idea. We do have a personnel committee who would interview and approve it, and of course, I'm not even on that, but it doesn't matter. Whatever the personnel committee comes up with for a temporary fix is suitable to me and hopefully suitable to everybody else on this council.
And to
And my
that,
concern is pay, honestly. Like, how are we going to pay for it if we're
Yeah,
already
and-
behind on bills?
Our good friend Larry on the council did some deep diving into pay.
Okay.
And I think that's really one of the things that we should address ourselves with is first and foremost, if you're going to hire somebody, they're going to need to know what to pay. They're going to need to know the pay structure, the benefits, what does this job offer, and we just hope that they both line up, meaning the employer and the employee agree on terms of employment, but of course, we're not quite there yet. But I think based on Larry's research, our pay scale was somewhere in the 70s, maybe up to the 80s, but we can look to see exactly what it is.
Which was higher than what we were, in a sense, paying Matt.
yeah, originally we
Yeah, he'll
hired
know,
Matt
believe
at
me, he's got every nickel down.
65,000.
But
And
saying as far as consulting stuff, though, I mean, we still owe bills to previous contracting services. So how do we pay for another contractor?
I think that that's another topic because we have cash flow issues at the moment, and that's where I think we will need some kind of a short-term solution to address our cash flow issues so we can get things paid. And my understanding is the village manager indicated he had something in the works with the Oxford Bank. I think he should pursue that because we definitely need to pay our bills. So whatever happens with the other things, this is just a cash flow issue. We should be getting monies in from the state and other that will make up for that at some point, and then we can clear that out. But in the short term, I think we're going to have to do something just to cover our immediate bills and not get in arrears on anything.
Well, if we're talking about wages for the village manager, the last one left here at 65,000. Not Matt, the prior. Sorry, prior one.
And we hired Matt at 65,000.
Right, and I think that's where we should start. I mean, I don't think we should go up at this point.
He's current. And then no, when I looked at the salary rates, the averages are from 70 to 95,000.
Yeah.
70 being for lower, smaller communities. But I mean, I think at this point you're going to get what you pay for. But
And yeah, and I agree. And my thought was to set 75, and because we also do not offer any medical benefits or any other benefits like that. So we give a stipend, but I know how medical costs have gone up. So I think if we have 70 with no benefits, that's not going to hold up against what other communities might be doing. So I think we need probably 75 just to try to make sure it's more fair for somebody who's coming.
we are a 1 square mile village, and I know you still got all the issues that a big city has. However,
But to
you start
Ashley's-
you start them out so high, and then you keep giving them raises time after time. And they're almost automatic anymore. They don't have to do anything but show up, and we seem to give them raises. We need to look at this stuff more carefully.
We've been paying in the 60 to 70,000 range for well over a decade. So I don't think it's going, and if you take a look at how inflation and costs have gone up in the last 10
We are a
years,
small community. We don't
starting at 60,000 10 years ago was probably at least $75,000, $80,000 in this day and age. So I don't think that trying to stay at the same level we've been paying for over a decade is going to cut it.
That wasn't over a decade, but you started way lower than that.
In general,
We
from
hired
what I've
Dale
seen in the
Stewart
past,
somewhere around 60.
When it comes to management positions, which is not typically an hourly employee like somebody for GM or Ford, typically in the management position, salaries have a range, and it starts off with a low end and a high end, and then based on their interview and their experience and other factors, We then get to pick, okay, does this person belong at the higher end or the lower end of that spectrum? But we don't know that until we actually go through the interviews and the hiring process. So
We've got to know what we're going
we
to,
have
what
to-
the high and low end
That's right.
are,
We
so
have to know a
can tell the
range.
person.
We have to know a range. And I would say that the range should be, because you don't want to put it too high because then everybody's going to ask for the higher end, obviously. If something's from 65 to 95, someone's going to want 95. We all know that.
I think 65 to 75.
If we just say the pay scale is in the 80s, depending on experience, then we leave ourselves open for, if somebody's super experienced, we can bump them up on that list, or if they're not, we can start them maybe more at the lower end. But that's how I see
So 70 to 80.
middle to upper management positions typically don't have a set salary because they're negotiable.
Ken, on the other hand, if you say it's in the 80s, as you mentioned, then we have to put that in our budget for 2026, 2027, because if we might hire somebody at 80,000, then we have to have at least that much in the.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that our previous guy put that amount of money into
He
the budget,
did,
if
but
not
we know
more.
that we need to pare that budget down. And I've had some thoughts when we get to the budget topic that I'll share, but at this point, I think it'd be more prudent to, if we put a cap of 75 and just say, okay, thinking about the budget, I would advertise, 65 to 75,000 as pay range. That would be my thought. I don't know what other council feels.
And Larry, I'm absolutely fine with
I'm
that.
fine with that too.
I'm not trying to pick a number and say that my number is correct. Your number is probably more correct. And then,
Well, I mean, we hired them at 65.
and you've
I think that-
already mentioned, it's very easy to move it up, but it's very hard to move it down. So
Did you say you wanted to post it tomorrow? Or starts
soon,
with, okay.
So,
Just because you have to go through job description, because we still have the job description from 2019 to confirm that that's exactly what.
I mean, I guess I haven't looked at that lately, but I can't imagine the job description is
Okay.
much different, if at all.
Okay.
It's more of a management spot where they're given a lot of leeway and, the ability to make management decisions.
Okay.
Without being handcuffed or without being, restricted to things that make it difficult for them to do their job. So, and as you know, with any village manager, we meet with them often, we're communicating with them often. So hopefully, if there's issues where we can see a problem coming and prevent it, we will all do everything we can to do that.
Okay.
But in terms of salary, I hate to pick a number, I really do, because then all of a sudden,
Well, everybody picks them.
Yeah,
I mean,
well-
we have to start at
okay,
something.
or we pick a range. And
That range, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Where it starts and,
where it starts and where it ends. I don't really care what that number happens to be, but we do have to put something out, and it's only prudent on our part to give everybody who reads an application or a job posting to get an idea of what their salary is going to be.
So do we need to make a motion to do that?
I'm all for a motion to just pursue the hiring process of a new village manager, by all means.
with the range.
Okay, and I'm not here to pick the range, so maybe somebody wants to put that at the
Okay.
65 to 75.
I'll try a motion. I'll make a
Okay.
motion to direct personnel committee to post the position for village manager with a range of 65 to 75,000. After clarifying the village manager job description. Support.
And is there a time limit on that, Larry? Of being,
I think Ashley and I will get that done with,
Yeah.
I would say by the end of this week it should be.
Okay.
At the latest.
That's not tomorrow.
Okay, is it agreeable to you, Ashley, and
Yeah.
Alex and everybody else?
Did I get support?
You did. Alex supported the motion.
Yeah.
And I'll do a roll call vote on that particular motion, and hopefully it's been recorded correctly.
Okay.
I tried to speak slowly.
He's giving me the transcript too, so
Yeah.
it's going recorded. It's all shorthand, so hopefully. Okay. Fokker,
Yes.
Aiden,
Yes.
Brooks, yes. Mold, yes. Green,
yes.
and Quisenberry.
Yes. Okay, we're going to move forward on that.
What's you have to say before say it passes?
Oh, it passes. Well, not 7. How much?
6.
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. That's whatever the wording is on that motion is the direction that the village is going to take from here on out when it comes to replacement of a village manager. Budget discussion is next.
Bob was here.
I'm sorry?
Bob is
Oh,
here.
yeah, Bob. I was going to get you out of here quick. I saw you sneak in. Where'd you go?
He's right.
He's sitting right there.
There you are. There's Bob. Okay, before Bob comes up, I would like to make a little bit of an introduction. This is Bob Oxwell, the village DPW director. Please step over here if you don't mind.
And you guys want these?
Yeah, you sure, man.
Ain't that the same thing, Nick?
Well,
got
yes, that is the same. You already got the same one, okay?
I think so. We don't have a picture, but I think we saw the aerial on a previous, Mr. Spud.
The picture is the one that I
This is-
gave out a couple weeks ago.
You see, the one you saw 2 weeks last time, because it
Different
was-
corners.
just had the 2 circles on it. This one includes all 4 corners. Yep. So it's a lot more bang for the buck than just
Yeah.
so one spot. Here, you guys can.
Oh, stop. Thank you. Is that there? No.
And this is what he
That's something I got.
Yeah, well, that's the ones I added to this. Yes, sir.
that face truth.
And Bob, I do have one next spring, so if you're short, we're good. Appreciate it, sir. All right, let's be. Anyway, I have to make an introduction here. I already introduced Bob Oxwell as the village DPW director. And there's been some discussion in the village about the corner right here at the main Mill Street, South Street intersection. We have some brick pavers that are there. They've been there for years as part of the landscaping, streetscaping venture that we took up years ago. Over time, with winter and heaving and frost and thawing and things like that, brick pavers sometimes don't hold up well. We've had an issue in the corner where we did all these brick pavers 10, 15 years ago, and they were beautiful to start with, but now they're in disrepair. And the brick
30 years ago.
well, it was,
I remember one that.
well, you're better off than I am in terms of memory. But nonetheless, it needs to be repaired. Bob has spoken with the village manager, the previous village manager, in depth over the past couple of months about the best solution. Bob had one solution, the village manager had another solution. They didn't quite always line up exactly on the same page. So now that we're at this point, and we were going to be doing this no matter what, with or without a village manager, these are things we have to address. And Bob is here to clarify his proposal for a long-term solution for the village as opposed to maybe what had been proposed by previous management. So with that, and you pass this out to us, we can now look at this and we're interested in knowing what your proposal is and is there any reason we shouldn't move forward?
I don't think there's any reason not to. There's a couple extra circles on the page that weren't on there last time, and that's the part that we really didn't ever talk about it being that way, but because that every intersection, all 4 of those corners are in terrible shape. There's some ankle twisters down there now. If we don't do something about this, we're going to have to tear it apart and fix it back with brick, and we've been doing that for years. 300 or 400 bricks a year we've been changing on all the whole downtown block leads. And it just, as soon as you fix a spot, right next to that one you just fixed, pops off. So it's time to just do something major about it. And you have the list of the north, south, east, west corners. It's for the, what is it, 12,375? It went up a little bit from the initial. When I did the estimate myself, I just went by square footage, and I didn't really know for sure what they had in for the access tiles, for the handicap access tiles, and they're quite expensive. So that's where that bit of extra dough came from. But it's going to all match the stuff on the north side of the credit union right now. It's all going to look like that. Ooh, it's awesome. It'll be. And these guys that this estimate came from, they've done 3 or 4 projects for us in the last 2 or 3 years. and they're fantastic.
Are they just waiting for like a green light from us?
Yes.
That's really, they've got the whole work project down, at least in terms of what their scope is. And
Because when, excuse me, Canal, I don't mean to step on you there. We told them throughout the winter that we wanted to be first.
okay,
And, I mean, they've done other things, they're working, I'm saying it, but here we are.
yeah.
It's a good, I personally think it's a good price, and they're good people. They'll bank, we're gonna do the demo, and,
Which will save us money, I believe, right?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a big part of this project.
yeah, that's a pain in the back.
Are they gonna fill back as well? And
We're gonna get it close, and they'll do the finished grade themselves.
Okay.
You know, because he'll shoot it, they shoot it out really nicely.
Okay.
We'll get it close, and if we go too low, then they gotta add in. We're gonna get it down to where the decayed brick debris is out, and then we'll just leave it for it. And then that'll get us within an inch and a quarter of being just what we need, what they need. And then they can, you know, I'd rather have them do it on their own grade, so.
Bob, another issue that you and I talked about when we were walking around looking at all the bricks was that it's not just a safety hazard for people walking, but also it's wrecking our equipment because every time they try to plow, or,
Big time.
you know, it goes up and explodes.
That's a
and,
bigger
you know,
factor
causes-
because it's not only the appearance, but it costs us money to
Yeah.
have these.
When one of those half a brick goes through your snow blower, it's
Well,
it's not cool.
and whatever it hits when it blows out of the
Yeah,
snow
right.
blower is at
Well,
risk
that
as well.
happened, remember at the old bead shop, or next door, the little building that they had for the Christmas store? That happened last year to Pete, so that must have been 2 years ago. When Pete was doing, so then we had to buy a window.
So with us not getting too deep into the woods, are you at a position where you've gotten the bids out and you know what you need to do to make these corrections happen? And are you in a position to do that ASAP?
Yes.
Okay, then you need approval from this board to move forward with the expenditure to fix the road on those four corners.
Yeah. Yes, inside of the curbing.
Well, I'll get you in a second. Okay, while Bob's here, anybody with questions about this, well, please, now's the time to ask.
Technically, if we're going to have discussion, we probably should have the motion first.
Which we don't have yet, so you're exactly right. That needs to come at some point. I just wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to ask Bob something, because we will vote on this. Hopefully, we want to give him permission to move forward, because there's no reason to delay them.
Can we ask him during our discussion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion then that we approve this project, this brick paper project for the four corners and the amount of $12,375.
support.
All right, and we did hear from Mr. Haxwell, and he explained it quite well about, I do believe that his plan and his research about the best suitable resolution to this for the village is what you're recommending. So there's been a motion and support.
I do have discussion.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to go to discussion, and you're up. You're first.
Okay. So Bob, I know you weren't there at Monday's meeting, but this topic about those pavers and the repair work that was needed came up. And I agree, if we have safety hazards or liability issues like that, we need to address them, make them safe. But my other concern is that we've got not just those four areas, and at the council, they just mentioned two, but not just those areas, but there's numerous. I walked around town with my wife and our dog last night, and there's numerous places where the sidewalks heave. I know you've done a lot of work to fix that. My point that I made at the meeting was, if there's any possibility to roll all that together into a bigger project to try to get some grant money for it, that would be good. Now, obviously, I also mentioned that if we have some immediate things that need to be repaired for safety issues, we should at least do the minimum needed to make it safe. But I was wondering, is this what you would consider the minimum that we would need to do to make those areas safe and not?
I mean, it's gonna be to code, and it's gonna be to proper depth, proper compaction, I mean, all that stuff is gonna be right.
Yeah, is
It'll
there
be fixed for
any
good, it's gonna
short-term
last.
fixes we could do to make it safe that would be less expensive, or is it
Oh, of
basically
course-
needs
Of
to
course
be-
there is. Yeah, there's ways.
Yeah,
We
'cause
can-
that's my only concern is that, right now, we know, we're in a very tight budget-ish situation right now. So cash flow wise, this would kind of be a little bit of a challenge in the short term to do it immediately. So that would be my only concern with approving this much tonight to start immediately, because I don't know what we're gonna do about the immediate cash flow situation we have. So that was my one concern, and my other is whether we can, try to do something, keep the cost down as much as we can, make it safe, but then try to find out a way to roll all of the repair, because there's a lot of sections that need work, and roll it all into a bigger project that we could try to find some grant money for.
Right, well, we can certainly do it the way we have been doing it. Just get some new, here's one of the problems. The bricks that are right in front of the bank man door or service door, those are not available anymore. And I think we have like 54 of them left or something like that. And so if we go to start changing those out, we're gonna run out. It's gonna take 100 to do that little section. Because when you pry one up, it doesn't even look bad. You pry the one next to it up and it just tips and now it's, because they're all about that thick instead of 2 3/8 thick. They're basically a 1-inch fillet on top that's not right. So when you start messing around. Anyway, yeah, we can do, that's what we've been doing for years. We can do it some more. We can do it again. And it'll be,
Well, how much is the cost different? I mean, how much less would it be?
oh, huge. I mean, we'll do it all. It's a huge, I can't tell you how much exactly it is, but it's way.
Other brick.
Bob, when you guys demo out or remove those current bricks, you're gonna save those or as many as you can?
We'll save the ones that are
And you'll be able
still,
to replace some of the ones that are down the
Yes.
road and over there and kind of do that. So like, that's kind of where we can save some money. This is more of a permanent thing to get us. Is this the most crucial part of the downtown?
as far as I'm concerned, it is. Sure. Okay. And there's, on down like in front of the dance studio and on down to the, past the other newer businesses that are in there. There's a strip this wide, like, I think it's 16 inches wide between the curb and the concrete. And we've fixed a bunch of that across from the credit union. We did that and it's blended up and it's lasted. It was kind of a Band-Aid, but it's pretty much permanent now. I mean, it's lasted really well.
So I'm just trying to get across that we can use the material that's there as a Band-Aid for other places. So that's kind of how I view it as saving money.
I was gonna say, off of yours, is there a way to just do maybe one corner and take those bricks?
Well, I
the
think
best bricks?
those two southern corners are the worst, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
We could maybe do those two.
the one outside the front.
They're all bad.
They're all bad.
Let's just do all four. I mean, really, otherwise we're gonna be here a year going over the same thing.
The dimensional ones we can buy, and they're not that expensive. I mean, they're probably $2.25 a piece or so. But the trapezoid, the ones that are dimensional, those are still available. Exact same size. They're bright, shiny red now. They're not dull, so they kind of stick out. The trapezoid bricks, they're not available anymore. We can't get those. So, if you start running out of them, they're weird shaped. Then you gotta it's more difficult. I mean, we don't
Just leave a hole in
do
You
it.
have to fabricate the bricks to fit.
Yeah, so that's the main,
I would not support buying any more bricks. Then
I wouldn't either.
definitely no.
so,
I mean, my only concern is our cash flow issues, and I'd love to give you this money, but I think in fact, some of me thinks this is a little premature until we find out how we're doing with this cash going.
I mean, now you can think about it, I mean, there's a few down there that if this isn't gonna happen, if we can't give him the go-ahead in the next week or so, then we're gonna go ahead and fix the work. I can think of 25 places that we need to replace 3 or 4 bricks.
Yeah.
And are you going to be able to do that with bricks you have?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yes, pretty much. We actually went and picked up a demo job out of Hummer Lake Road, Hadley and Hummer, of somebody that tore their out, and we went and picked up all their bricks because they were that trapezoid sized brick, and we went and picked those up a couple years ago, and we pretty much used those all up already too.
Yeah.
So,
If you have an odd hole, I mean, I'm thinking as a homeowner trying to save money, if I was doing it like in an area and I knew I was gonna be redoing it down the road, rather than put a brick in there, what if you just clean out the hole good and just filled that up with some concrete? I know you can even put white dye to color the concrete if you kind of match the bricks.
If you dug them out and cleaned them out good down to where you can't just take out the fillet that comes out easy.
You gotta get at least
an inch of concrete is
gotta get to the
not
base.
very strong.
you gotta get a deeper.
Yeah, so you'd have to clean them out. Yeah, you could do that. We actually, remember Mike, he did that at a couple bricks right down by where we're talking about. He did that years ago.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so there are other options.
Yeah, because I definitely agree. We need to make sure we're safe, that it's safe. I'm just trying to think of creative ways to.
It's just, to me, it's the look of it. I mean, I don't want somebody twisting their ankle, especially me.
And I
We're
agree with
walking-
the look, but I think that if we can get, because there's so many sections that really are getting towards end of life, and if we could find some way to get some grant money and then put our money towards that too, to make the whole village set up.
I'm with you on the grant. I'm with you on the grant. I just think that that's next summer.
Yes, but I
I mean, it's gonna be a year. It'll be a year.
And I don't think
Well,
we have time.
even
for some-
this-
I don't think we
You
have
think we're
time.
okay till then, or wait for the real solution, or do
Yeah, but
something
Alex, even
to
this,
abandon
I
it?
have concerns about trying to do it before the start of the next fiscal year, because we need that influx of revenue. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so for now, if you want, we can just R&R the worst ones, the ones that are already open,
Yeah.
and then try
Like
and
the
be
hole that's
careful.
on the southeast corner there.
Yeah, right, and
Yeah.
and there's a mole, a family of moles that live right out there. You see the dirt piles that come up? I don't know how they do it. They push it right up through the brick.
I can.
Can we give them names and we can use them at the next parade we have?
Yeah.
By the way, I do want to express my appreciation for you putting through the effort and document all this.
Yeah.
I think it's great, and it's just, with the other things, it's just making
I
it
know.
difficult for us.
It's hard.
I have a side question for you, Bob, because I know you need a laborer. When is your deadline of when you would like this laborer if possible?
Well, the way I understood, we were kind of on hold for that.
Yeah, I just want to,
And I know, I mean,
just personnel wise, because we're trying to get everything
But I do think it's
on the
necessary.
list anyway.
I mean,
That when would,
Yeah.
well,
is there like a critical time for you? that-
if it all comes back down to how much.
Right. Yeah.
We're supposed to be first on the list for the crack fill operation.
Okay.
And when that happens, you almost need 3 guys, because one guy's got to be holding the stop sign all day, or most of the days, you know. We can set it up, but you can't leave it you can't let it go from here to the library. You've got to have somebody helping people through there. So that's our main concern right now is that. And,
When was that?
I'm sorry,
When is that, do you know?
I haven't heard from them, but we're supposedly first on the list.
Okay.
And it's usually, they want it to be like 45 degrees, you know.
Yeah.
For the crack filling, they want it to be 45 degrees and rising in the morning, and rising to put that stuff down, because
So tell me again, what are you going to do then? What is the stopgap before we do this project?
we're just gonna replace a few bricks.
You're
But you're not going to
labor?
pull the bricks out and just let it go to
See, when you're putting brick in, even a repair, you dig it out, and then you gotta put slag or sand or whatever, sand works fine. Then you gotta compact it. So when you're compacting those down in there, even if it's just with a big rubber hammer, you beat the snot out of it, it goes down to grade, because you don't wanna just replace it with another toe catcher.
Right.
Then it loosens up the bricks around you. So it's not just as easy as going and putting in 4 bricks in this bad spot. Because it just grows as more you pound it.
Yeah.
And if you don't put enough fill in there, then in the week and it rains on it a couple times, now it's low again.
Right.
And so you gotta kind of take your time to get it halfway right, you know? I
And
mean,
how long is this price good for? Did he give us a time frame?
I'm sure for a while, unless something happens and concrete goes way up, and then, you know, I mean,
Table it until next time.
I mean, I would like to act on it, but I feel like we have to get our money situation under control before we can start approving expenditures. You know, again, there's no point in saying, yes, we're going to do this, and then not be able to pay the guys you.
I mean, believe me, I understand how that works. My next question, I guess, is these, like the crack fill guys, and the concrete guys, and what was another one we have somebody come help us on? And he said, I get a hold of those guys and tell them, hey, we can't move right now.
I think we need to do the necessary maintenance no matter what. You can't just close up shop. So we're gonna have to spend money, and we don't have a lot, and we don't really know exactly where it all is at the moment. So that's just one of the things that we have to, that's not your issue, it's ours.
Yeah, right.
And it's decide how much money we have and where is it, and how much we can afford to spend. But things that you're mentioning, to me, are absolute necessities. They're not.
It seems.
They're not like, it's not frivolous spending. It's not us just, doing things to, to spend money frivolously. These are necessary things. We would be spending this money no matter what. And that's what you need to know for you to move forward, is the village can and will spend the money that you deem necessary. And if you deem it necessary, I'll be the first to say, Bob says it's necessary, and it is necessary.
Well, I mean, I can tell you right now, I think it's necessary.
Well, okay, that's all.
But we can spend a couple days, Aaron and I, and we can patch up the worst ones, and that'll buy us a little time. Part of it is just it's so ugly. I mean,
That's a big issue. I mean, it's an important issue.
When I gotta walk by and look at it, I turn my head when I'm driving by.
I'm all for getting that addressed and taken care of. And I think that once we get past the immediate issues with cash flow and stuff like that, I think that we definitely will want to put money in the next fiscal budget to address this and other things. So we will have the money. It's just at I don't know if it's the right time to start it.
One of the other things I was just thinking of came to mind is that the DDA is working on a big streetscape project, and I think it'd be a good idea to at least, talk to them and find out if Pierce from that fits into what they're planning.
We've talked about colored dyeing some of the concrete.
Oh, they do the stamp concrete.
And the stamp concrete, but that for sure at least doubles the price.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Just that. But they're throwing a couple little baggies full of dye in there, and all of a sudden it costs twice.
And maybe there's some help from the DDA if it's part of their streets committee. So I think
that's good thought.
one of us should have a conversation with the DDA and see where they are.
I mean, we've talked about that too, and that's why if they're going to change the whole streetscape, but we have shiny new concrete at those four corners,
Yeah.
you can kind of you can work out from there. It doesn't have to be exactly the same.
Right.
You could start doing stamped and colored stuff other places.
Yeah, well, let's say if we didn't do it first, if we did it fifth or something, would they be able to work us in when we get them stabilized?
Oh, I'm sure you would. Okay, I'm sure. I'll talk to him. I have pretty good relationships with the guy. That's why I'm worried about, should I call him up? I don't want to lead him on. I don't want to ruin my relationship with either one of these guys. If we can't.
Could the other thing I would just for myself ask, because we're trying to figure out what is our bottom dollar needed, the cracks, these projects, the ceiling and the roads and this concrete project. I thought you said there was one other one. If you could.
Well, the other one I was thinking about was asphalt, but that's a whole nother
Okay.
day.
I mean, I guess if you can give us the crack and seal fill, if you can give us a price on that as well, then we at least know what dollars we're dealing with.
I think we're obligated to, I think our load, I think we spoke for 2 pallets, which I think would be about 2.5 tons. And it would take us, especially if there's only two or three guys, it'll take you almost a month to do it. Because you can't do it first thing in the morning because it takes 2 hours for the machine to blame up. And you can't do it during rush hour because people don't like that. And then you're given time for the asphalt to warm up. And so it's a month's worth of labor.
Okay.
Thereabouts. I mean, we still have to mow our grass and all that stuff that we have to do every week. But the project it takes a while because there's a lot.
What's
of
the
grass.
dollar amount on the?
The material.
On the material? I'm not like $4,000 or something.
Yeah.
What is it?
But that includes the material, includes the machine that gets it hot.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have to rent a machine. It comes with at the price.
What was that price you said?
I think about $4,000, but I can find out.
yeah, that'd be just,
Well, that's a ballpark, I mean.
And usually, like, if you get done and you're, 50 boxes short of finishing your job, he'll usually bring some more out too.
something.
But it's gonna take, the cracks are big, because we haven't done it in 4 years, which we should have been doing it every year. But it'll be nice to catch up, because that stuff it is an awesome material. It's awesome.
We're not doing this on the roads that need to be redone, right?
Oh, no.
Four corners down here, bro.
No.
Oh, yeah.
We'll touch up
Yeah.
all it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And the ones that are gonna be done, they're so bad that it's like, plus I
It
can
doesn't make
sneak in.
sense to do a road that we're gonna be repaving anyways in a year or two.
Yeah, we'll just keep putting pothole filler in them and just leave them until they pave them. So, and we also sneak in usually, and we'll do the basketball courts with that same
Yep.
with that same money, with that same batch of stuff that comes.
Yeah, they need it.
So
Okay, with all this in mind, and you're mentioning these four corners, which we're all familiar with, they're the center of the town. It seems like Memorial Day is the day that the parade comes through town. They stop there at the corner, they lay a wreath, and they do just, the Memorial Day celebration in this town to me is amazing. It's where we can really put our village out there. And Memorial Day's coming up, we know. Are these things is there any anticipation that something could be done by this Memorial Day, or is that a pipe dream?
no, it's not a pipe dream.
Okay, because
I think
that's,
I think we
again,
could-
we're back to showcasing the village.
Right.
So if we do something and nobody sees it for 3 months,
Now it's old.
but in this case, Memorial Day is a Memorial Day and Septemberfest and, 2 or 3 other times in the year, Christmas in the village, it was when people come here and they would notice things like this. And I just want to, if we're going to do it right and do it quick,
Ken, are you okay with getting this loan then?
if needed.
If we were to do this project over the time,
We got it.
you would have it done before Memorial Day?
I think we have more money than we think we have, we just don't know where it is.
He'll-
I don't know that, I'm just
we're on each other's
suggesting.
speed dial, we talk about it all the time. It's not that big of a job, but it is
Yeah,
important, and he's like on board, he wants to do
totally.
it too,
Well, I just think when we're showcased, those are the few opportunities that we really have to project
Right. And
the village's
right.
priorities.
Just speaking of Memorial Day, then I'll shut up. We were talking about, I'm gonna still, seems like we haven't made any plans on what we're gonna plant our flowers in this year. I'm gonna go ahead and, we already prepped it to put ground flowers in at Memorial Park. Just so they're there, they're
Just at
there for
Memorial
that
Park.
day.
Oh, fair.
And then we can, if we figure out something else that we wanna do, we can tear them out. I'll take them home.
Are you stressing about the flowers?
I'm fine.
Are you stressing about the flowers?
Yes, I.
Okay.
No, I feel that park right there is different than the street.
Yes.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Okay, so maybe in a few weeks we'll be able to approve this.
All right.
Till we get
And I'll talk to them.
Can we,
Okay, well, we
haven't,
had a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
We have to vote on the motion first, or the motion makers have to amend it if they want to change it.
I withdraw my motion regarding Four Corners at this time.
okay.
Larry, did you second it or was that?
I second. I remove my motion. I make a new motion to table it until further notice.
Okay, we have a motion that was moved and supported to be removed. All in favor of removing that, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? We have a new motion as,
Yeah, the first motion was withdrawn.
yes, first motion,
We're gonna table
Yes.
it.
now the second motion we're tabling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're only tabling Alex's second motion to wait and see. That's what I believe. Is that true, Alex, or?
Sounds correct.
Okay. And with that in mind, was your second motion, or your motion, was that supported?
Yeah.
Yes, Linda said word.
Good. And is there any further discussion on Alex's motion?
Not for me.
Okay, I think everybody's in agreement. Those in favor of Alex's motion, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, Alex's motion, meaning we will address it down the road, but we're certainly very much aware of your concerns and what we need to do. So
It's
I
gonna
would,
look
I would
so
expect some action on it no matter what. Expect something's gonna happen.
So,
Okay,
thank you.
cool.
Was the floor still open because you said that?
Yeah.
No, I did, and I was gonna let Bob finish, but you had raised your hand.
Actually, Linda took care of it.
Okay.
It was just a cash flow issue.
Got it.
I just wanted to be honest, don't have it right now, Bob. I don't want to I don't want you to have a bad relationship with this person when they send us a bill. Right now, we don't have it.
Yeah, I don't want them.
There has to be some, I think, one already coming in the next few weeks that can be used specifically for something like that.
So that's cool.
Thank you, Scott.
Should, great.
So hopefully we'll have better position to
Make decision.
make a decision at our next council meeting in about a week or so.
So, and I keep hearing May 1st, so I don't know.
Maybe we will.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, just 1 second, anything else, Bob, you want to bring us up to date on? We're good with everything? You are down an employee now. Are you seeking a replacement?
At some point, I was kind of heard that we were kind of on hold for that for a while. So,
Well,
and that's okay. I mean, Aaron and I,
Application.
okay, we're on hold to do something official. That doesn't mean we can't keep our eyes open and somehow.
oh no, I'm keeping an eye.
Oh,
I'm
my
doing
God.
that.
If you get a list or somewhat, you know, like if you have a favorites list of the 3 people that you think would do
No, I
well.
really don't.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if you did, obviously the council would love to know that because we know we can't wait till September to fill that position. We just can't. And, you know, summer's our busy time, summer's when you are at your busiest. Well,
If we were to get
There's,
the money together for the 4 corners, that demo job's a big job for one young guy and one old guy. So it'd be nice to have another younger guy to help us.
2 applications in right now for it.
Would you take
2
volunteer
applications in there right
assistance?
now for it.
So that,
If you was looking.
that's, I guess we can look them over. One of the guys I have talked to a bit,
Okay.
and he seems like way qualified. I mean, he's had experience, he's done that kind of, all this kind of stuff a lot. So he should.
no, I'm just saying, we don't want to handcuff you to not be able to accomplish things
Physical
because
work,
we're,
just talk to the high school coach, see if he wants to send some
Yeah, right.
players
Send
over to help
the,
you.
send the troops in and bang this work on.
Also odd. You could try.
I mean, as of right now, Aaron and I are keeping up fine and we're getting some stuff done. And I mean, we didn't go out in the village and do anything today. We were in and out of the barn like all day because it's so muddy you can't even drive around. Like as soon as you get off the
the amount of rain we've had, is it,
Oh my gosh,
does this
it's
rate
awful.
high in your number of years of seeing rainfall?
Yes.
Okay, me too. I just noticed my backyard is a swimming pool.
Yeah, actually, Bob, that does remind me about something. I know we did get a resident about the water pooling along the edge of the road on James Street, and I drove around today and I see.
Well, that-
Have you noticed any?
Oh yeah, no, that needs the ditch there for 5 or 6 years. We didn't
Yeah, I
talk about
mean, I just in general, with all the rain we've got, that should make it very easy to identify where we might have drainage issues.
No, that's definitely an issue, and it's been there a long time, and we've talked about it
Okay.
over and over again.
Yeah, because I think that's something that, coming back to streets and things, we need to take a look at a more comprehensive plan for drainage and drainage maintenance and things like that. So
That
I
part just
would like
needs,
to discuss that topic with you on the next streets meeting when we have a chance.
that just needs a little shallow ditch, but it does need,
But where's the water gonna go? That's the problem.
well,
I looked at that, it's just as flat all the way around.
it's flat all the way around, but you'd have to put a new culvert in at near Myron Street, and then get it out, have it pop out, open daylight somewhere, and then it's gonna all go up by Tony's house, and then he's probably not gonna like that either.
No, he's already.
I like that either.
That's his house.
You don't think you'll like that? No, that'd be heading right for you. Be heading right for
Oh,
that.
come on, Alex, you can take it.
And, yeah. And
Take
that would be
a hit
questions,
for the
how much
team,
it costs
okay?
to put
Just
that
do it for
culvert in,
us.
'cause that could.
If you look at that road was paved, that half of that road was paved 4 or 5 years ago, maybe? I don't know. And from the water sits on it always. And I mean, you can get it all out of the ground. You could run it underground past your house, but now you're talking big dikes
Yeah.
instead of
You could put a pond in, Alex.
Few.
You know, 1,000.
It's by the lake water.
Yeah, some goldfish. You can get some goldfish. You can get some trout.
But that's why that asphalt, that newer asphalt's all just cracked all up this far off the road because that's where the water sits. It has nowhere to go.
Well, if it gets big enough, then we could just say, hey, you have lakefront property.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
And charge them more. We can tax them at a higher rate.
I used to promote that for Camp Netflix.
Bob, thank you so much for coming in. We spoke on the phone today, and I asked if you would come in and let the rest of us know about this project. And we're now up to speed.
Sorry, I had 7 o'clock in my head, so.
Yeah,
It's okay.
that's okay.
Yeah. All right, cool.
And I'd like to call on this gentleman next, if I may.
President Rosemary, a lot of things we like to do. Regarding mortgage, I agree with that the payment needs the bad shakes. What I've heard is he says that the company's ready to go. We don't have the money, we should be getting some money soon, right? And of your point, President Quisenberry, the, Memorial Day, Labor Day, July 4th, Christmas, and it is a safety issue. I think it should be done sooner than later. My question to you, Bob, is you've got a good relationship with this company, okay? Could we ask for special terms? I've worked a lot with contractors and bidders in the past. Is they look to complete the work, we'll pay you 30 days or 60 days after completion because our funding, we're a little bit of a train right now. Would they be willing if they need to do that?
I will speak to him about it, but I will not make it an issue.
Right, exactly.
I'll be happy to talk to him.
Yeah, sometimes the contractors and companies are stressed in funds, and since we are there, if they're willing to work with us and been through a workforce in the past, comfortable with it, maybe there's a commonality.
Yeah, sometimes there's a window where their timing and our timing can line up.
What was your
and
name,
That's
sir?
important.
What was your name, sir?
Yeah, what's your
Oh, my name is Al Hubbard,
Oh, okay.
and President Ilgrad.
Yeah. Thank you, Al. That's a really good suggestion.
And Alex, did you have your hand up? I'm not sure.
No.
Oh.
his name?
Okay, thank you very much. And I saw a hand up over here.
So,
Your question got answered, I believe. I'm going to look across this whole audience and just say Bob's temporarily on hold, and we can dismiss him when, if there aren't any further questions from the audience that have to do with the DPW.
Just compliments to Bob on the job.
Well, and this entire council concurs with that. And that's been our cornerstone since I've lived here. So I am just always happy to make sure the DPW has what they need.
Well, we're lucky to have Aaron.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's the young guy.
But you said a young guy and an old guy. I wasn't sure who was who. I thought you were the young guy.
So thank you all.
Yes.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. Next budget discussion.
Okay. The motion we passed was to table this till our next meeting. I would say, and I just want to, back to the time frame that he outlined, is this isn't something we can and should sit our hands on. Ashley, you had mentioned, is this worthy of getting a loan or not? And I don't know the answer to that because I don't know that we would need one, but I would say if we need one, that's where it needs to go. In other words, that's legitimate money we have to spend. Now, whether we do it via loan or whether other money comes in or other revenue that offsets that, that's fine. But I don't think that falls in the category of being frivolous spending in the least. It's automatically, if we do anything in this town, it's to make the DPW
Oh, for sure.
look
Totally.
good. So,
Whit's like 10 days away.
I know, but
That's absolutely.
he knows when he starts to call these people, and now their spring and summer starts to get filled up, and
Yeah.
I just don't want this to have to. I don't want to miss an opportunity to get it done sooner. If we're going to, if we know we're going to do it eventually.
I totally agree with you.
Okay.
I looked over what we owe on stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a sticking point, and I don't know the answer to that.
Quite
Yeah.
extensive.
Yes.
All right, and next up is budget discussion, and I think these have all been budget discussions. They're just different forms. We talked about the DPW. We've also talked about our audit. We talked about the lawyer, and we talked about the fact that we're going to have to be hiring some people at the minimum, a village manager and a DPW employee. So our budget is kind of in a bit of a disarray at the moment, but I'm sure that those things will work themselves out.
Ken, may I start the discussion?
You
on
sure
the
may.
budget?
As a
Okay.
matter of fact, not only can you start it, you can run with it.
Okay. As you know, I've expressed my disappointment with the budget. With the proposed 2027, 2026, 2027 budget we received from the previous village manager, because instead of building the fund balance, it actually was going to take it even lower, which to me is unacceptable. I did look over that proposed budget to see where we could try to, at least initially, I have a few suggestions on where we could try to make up some differences. The biggest thing I see is the biggest chunk in the budget that really is drawing it down is the local streets asphalt maintenance, which is the Phase 3 road project. It's right now currently slated to be $197,000, and that is including a significant chunk of about, I think, close to $150,000 fund balance transfer from general fund over to the streets in order to cover that. I think if we reduce the scope of that from 197,000 to something more like 125,000 and see what we could get done with that much, that would free up about $70,000 in the general fund that we wouldn't have to transfer over, which would help with building our balance back up. Within the general fund portion, there was nothing shown for Parks and Rec, which is not acceptable. We have to have money in there. However, we know the village manager's salary, he was proposed to increase that to $98,000. There's also $6,000 for conference and education, and I would propose that if we take the village manager line item and reduce it to $75,000, which we said would be the upper range of our
Pay scale.
And we also reduce the conference and education from 6,000 to say 1,500. We still want to have some in there. That would free up enough money that I think we could then take that money from that and apply it into the Parks and Rec area of the budget and get monies in there that is needed. And I think with those two actions, that should help start building our fund balance back up as of next year. So that's what I just came up with just in a review prior to this meeting.
When I was going over it, the salaries were all bumped up, and I just don't think we're in a position to even think about raises this year. I just don't. I don't see how it works, and if you figure all that money out, that's quite a bit. That's a big chunk.
What do we normally offer a raise? Was under 90 days?
It's usually
Annual raise?
Annual.
annual raise.
It's been a while until someone's been here for a year.
It's supposed to be, well, in
It's
places that
typically
I've
July
worked,
1st.
it's supposed to be, you get an increase if, usually you're doing a good job or more than what you need to do. I'm not suggesting we change everything, but I'm saying this year, I think we need to hold back on raises. On the yearly,
So
the
basically
3%, the 5%, whatever it
It would
is.
basically be the DP.
I think you have to always have.
Yeah, I would.
You have to have a merit increase to follow inflation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
whether or not you match inflation or not is another thing, but you have to have some sort of.
It's like legally, you have to do something.
You can and should, because it's the right thing to do.
Now whether or not ours was over that threshold or not, that's a different discussion.
Yeah.
And those are, I suppose those are called COLA increases, which is cost of living. And it typically, by the federal government, ends up being anywhere from, 2 to 5% per year. And that's really not that big of a raise. So if somebody
I'm not saying that's a big raise. I'm saying we need to try to, if it's illegal,
Well,
we can't do it, obviously.
we're not going to
I'm
give up
suggesting
raises
that.
today anyway. All we're doing is discussing the
The budget, but
The budget.
it's in the budget, is what I'm saying. There's a
And
percentage in the budget
If
already.
we just assumed that in our budget, salary increases are going to account for about 2%. If we just use that as a benchmark,
Monroe, that's true.
well, I don't know that it is either. I'm just saying that if there's either no raise or a 2% or whatever the federal government decides that they're going to give to the people who collect Social Security, that's the typical benchmark. Now, this village has given out raises of 10 to 20% year after year after year. And those days have to honestly
We
see.
give so many raises, though.
Well,
You know,
people
we need
take
to
them
look at it.
themselves. We didn't even give these raises. They just showed up.
Well, I think there's one person that was doing that, really.
There's what?
I think there was really one person that was doing that because the raises for, I think, our other staff, they were somewhere in that 3 to 5% range typically.
I was gonna say we probably, I mean, and for at least for administration and besides the village manager, we might have to table in a sense because we don't know what our admin is.
I'm all for this.
She's dropping like, more part-time. And then if we hire a treasurer, that's gonna bump something and move something and.
Yeah.
Right.
But we already had a line item for treasurer in the
Right.
budget.
Yeah.
And
And so if we didn't touch any of those other numbers, as I said, we can make some adjustments that, I think the biggest chunk we can get out in reducing costs is more in terms of what projects do we postpone or delay because we just don't have money to move forward on some of the capital projects. We might have to delay some of the elements of our capital improvement plan just to stay operational at a reasonable level. And I think one of the big pieces is I mentioned that at Monday's meeting that when John was here talking from the paving company, I said, we'll have to see what our budget is because we'll have to scale back the scope of phase 3 to what can fit in our budget.
Yeah.
I still think it's important to move forward and try to get this done because I want to get the whole project completed. But if it takes an extra year to make sure we get it done and done right and done within our budget, I think we need to do that because in the end, I want to get that extra road assessment off and back down to where we were before.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
In that vein, I think we need to look at what that extra road village is bringing in and kind of base that number on that. And we have that, the TIF reduction to deal with. So, I mean, that was something new that we just heard about on it.
What is that? You just said a reduction. What do you mean?
The DDA is going to take.
I know what you're talking about. I'm saying, what's the reduction?
Well, I mean, they said it was somewhere in the range of 17,000
Yeah.
to 19,000. I guess
I got 17, yeah.
And I was wondering what the percentage was because our total amount that we've been giving them is 35,000-ish. And that's after 30 or 40 years of slight increases. And I was just shocked that dollar amount was so high, but I haven't taken the time to look into
We need to get,
what that dollar amount.
we need to get accurate numbers.
Yeah,
I
we
guess
need to
that's-
find
I don't know
out.
if I would trust the numbers that we were being told by the previous village manager because,
Talking to Corinne.
Wow.
And it's on camera.
Huh.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Did I hit you again? Some.
yeah. And if I could, I would also like to go on the record for the public that one of the situations that, we try to oversee and make sure we're being fiscally responsible. And I found out when I was reviewing our packet for the March meeting that had the February Treasury report and revenue and expenditure reports, that according to the revenue and expenditure report, we were supposed to have had $105,000 some dollars as of the end of February. Our cash report from the treasurer's report stated that we should have had about $80,000, in terms of the cash. So obviously there was a significant discrepancy between what we were seeing in our packets in terms of the fiscal standings of the village versus what the reality is. And I think that we're going to maybe find some more surprises as we get digging into this. So, but I just want to offer my apologies to the public for the fact that it did get this point, but we also weren't getting good information too, which made it more challenging and difficult for us to really understand the true scope of what was going on.
Very much. I couldn't agree more. I also would agree that we haven't completely learned all the surprises we're going to learn. That's just, we need to keep that at the back of our mind that we're probably going to hear something in the next month or two that goes, wow, I didn't know that. But that's okay. You just deal with it.
I have a question as
Yes.
newer person, I guess, on it. When you guys had your budget meeting, the first one for the 2026 budget, did you guys question any things?
We didn't go over the 26, 27 one. It was in our packet, but we didn't go over it because we couldn't get through the 20.
Right, we were trying to reconcile
Yeah.
last year's budget, which we really haven't done yet.
Went over the first initial.
No?
Well, actually, let me fill you in a little bit on that. When we had that meeting, there was a lot of questions about the numbers because the numbers weren't making sense on there. I mean, they showed a ending fund balance in 1 year of X, and then the beginning fund balance in the next year of Y. They didn't match up. The numbers weren't.
Why did you guys ever say, no, let's get this settled?
That was what we had asked. We said, get the numbers corrected and get the budget back to us so we can look
Was your
at real
council,
numbers.
we need a treasurer, we need a person in here. Let's get this taken care of now so that we can be on track for the year.
Oh darn, we've been asking for that since last June.
Yeah, we were,
Again,
yes.
And we ordered him to do it, and he didn't do it. So I don't know
So
what
why-
else we can do.
in a sense, why didn't you fire him then and start this?
Oh, there's 100 chances we had to fire him sooner. Just the fact that it eventually happened now, then, that's just water under the bridge. But
But why did it come up now all of a sudden?
it didn't come up now. We've been wrestling with this for a year.
Well, it came up more with the petition, and that
It had nothing to do with it.
Well, I think what really started a lot of the stronger push about these things was when it came to the lights going out in January. Because that was a
Nail on
clear
the head.
indication
Nail
that
on the head.
there was not proper planning done on the part of the village manager. Because he knew that there was that statement that the lights would go off if we didn't have something in place by January 1st.
It was a
and
looming issue.
Nothing was done, and it happened. And,
But why was that the thing that started it? Like, it should have been.
well, I think all of us had concerns, but I mean, that was one of the things that really kind of like brought things more to a head. But I think also, just as you said, you see what sort of chaos it's created by terminating the village manager. I think that's why everybody was hoping maybe we could find a way to work things out. That's why I said, why don't we put him on probation at first and see what happens? In the end, I think it was, for me, it became clear that he just was not going to
But-
change in the
So
sense
then
of
it
being
comes
able-
to Alex's, though, where there's no plan B. It was, let's fire him and now we're screwed.
There was always a plan B. I mean, you
There
go out
wasn't
and
a plan
hire
B. We
someone.
don't have anyone.
You go out and hire someone, and that's what
Takes to come on him.
they would speak down.
I mean, to your point, Ashley, I think the biggest problem and and I don't know which budget you're talking about, the one that we were given a few months ago or the one that we passed a year ago.
The 2026, the first.
I mean, because I will say that and I will have been on council a short time, this will be my third budget, but the first budget, I had only been here a very short time, and I just went, wow, I have no idea what these numbers mean. And you have to have this certain trust that the manager knows what they're doing, and they explain to you why they moved money here and there and how it all works, and you just go,
But it should also be more detailed because we raised taxes for a new road project. So
Well-
there should have been more.
and so to your point, Ashley, so last year, we didn't sit down and go through line by line by line by line. And when we passed it, if we didn't pass it, we couldn't move forward. And this
It was
is where,
due.
this,
We had no wiggle
this
room
is
at that
where,
point.
this
We
is
finished.
where I think we really were in error, because I believe it was said that we could always amend it, and we should have been looking into it and amending it and soon thereafter. And that is what I cringe about now, because there's so much that we should have been looking at because we did not take the time. And that was because we had a half an hour budget meeting, and that was the only budget prep we did. And I feel that's part of the reason we're in this situation, because we were not allowed and again, as you say, like you allow your leaders to set these things, and as council members, we should have said, no, this is not right. And we did not. And I apologize to everyone for that, because, it's just glaring now, and you just feel like there's always another thing you're doing, and then you forgot that you were going to amend the budget because we did not do a good job.
And just for clarity too, Ashley, we were ready to fire him over a year ago, and we kept hanging on because we had so many vacancies. We were trying to get him filled. We were trying to get him to hire a treasurer. We were trying to do what we needed to do, and it just wasn't happening. So a year later, then we, it just, now it's so bad that, now we have a mess.
And Ashley, if I could share with like the current budget that was approved. Yeah, I had concerns about that when we approved it, but I'd had concerns in the past with our manager before Matt, which was Ryan Mattis, where he put a budget, and I was a little concerned whether we would actually be able to meet that or not. And he reassured me, says, don't worry, I know on paper it looks really tight, but he says, don't worry, through the year we'll find ways to make up, and he did. So, you know, we have a lot of trust, and that's what most village managers do. You have the budget, which is the plan, as Matt had stated, and then a good village manager finds ways to do things more cost-effective in order to save money, and in the end, you end up with more fund balance than the original budget. That's the way it should work. Unfortunately, our Matt, as our village manager, did not seem to do things that way because it didn't seem like he really was trying to do things for less than there was in the appropriation line. It seemed like he was using up all the money in every line item in the budget, which is, you know, doesn't help in the end. And I think that's what's
Never had the experience when hired. I mean,
Yes.
he had lawyer and restaurant business. So it's not like why was there just not a backup of like, hey, we need to check his balances because he's never done this before. Maybe we should make sure it's working. Maybe we should do this. And then as personnel committee for hiring wise, I mean, you guys had 3 people, 3 against 1 for saying, no, we don't, you're voted out. So let's hire people. Like, why was it?
Well, and I know he also did things like he says, well, I'm bringing in an accounting firm to help get these books in order. So we were saying, okay, well, I don't like that extra expense, but we paid for these auditors.
Which you guys fully
for
approved
additional
the trains, because I watched the back council meetings, and you guys were all for it and going to every conference.
And he went to these trainings and.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's more information.
Yeah.
No, but like it's public-wise, that's what sucks about it.
Well, we just firmly believe in professional development, be it municipal or
And actually,
school, education, teachers, all that kind of stuff. I see that as professional development, and it's worth taking, a percentage of your budget and saying you're going to reinvest this in the training of current employees. Whether it turns out to be money well spent or poorly spent, now that's what we're deciding that maybe it wasn't well spent, but the idea of spending it is good.
Yeah, and then and we knew that he didn't have the same experience as somebody who had been working government, which is why I initially was also in favor of making sure he could attend a lot of training so he could build that knowledge up.
Right. And he had lots of counterparts that he was working with. I mean, when I'd ask him, he was working with counterparts, and they were, walking him through. We had no, in hindsight's 2020. Yes, we should have done a lot of things. We didn't. We took him at his word, and that's where we're at.
Okay.
And I think too that, we need, and that's one of the things I've learned in the last 4 months is we need to do our due diligence. If you don't understand the report, you don't just assume, well, that's just not my weak point. We ask the questions anyway. And that's where I take responsibility, because it's not, even today, I don't know what this piece of paper, I go through that. I'd love to go through this as a group and have a decent budget, but I don't even think this paperwork, I just don't like.
I think it might
We don't even have a good starting point.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But
That's why, so I think we need to move on to E and get some help. I do think we need to work on the budget, but I don't know how we can work on what we have. And I think Larry made some great suggestions, but I think we need something better to work on. And I do think that I would love to see each of us go through it line by line and then say, here, let's all sit down together and anyone have comments on these 10 lines? Anyone have comments on this? And
we've usually done that in the past, but not the last few years.
I would suggest that once we have somebody helping fill in on the treasurer position, that we should schedule a budget workshop to go over that line by line and try to determine what will be an appropriate budget for next year.
and understanding the income and when it comes in and that type of thing as well. That's what I would suggest for our budget discussion.
Good.
Thank you for that. we aren't obviously going to decide anything regarding the budget today anyway, other than just to, it's on the agenda so we could discuss it, and thank you, Linda, for that. Does anybody have any other budget recommendations that we will not vote on tonight, that we will just throw out to the village staff to help us in our decision making?
I mean, my question is if we're that strapped, do we need to make a decision today?
No,
We're not even here to make any decisions.
find
We're
out
here to
where we're at.
to get everybody on the same page.
Okay.
That's it.
And as I mentioned earlier, I think Ken, as village president and chief executive of the village, for the immediate cash flow situation, if something is needed, like a loan or something like that, he has the authority to go ahead and handle that. And then he would give us update at the next council meeting with the I thought.
I think council needs to vote on something like that. If you want to leave it open-ended and say, Ken can request whatever dollar amount he wants.
Well, if,
Well, I'll be honest, I would never request a dollar amount that this council didn't approve ahead of time.
Yeah,
So I'm not going to ever put myself in a position of authorizing the village to go into debt. That will never, ever happen, that this council
So-
does vote.
if we need to do this by next, because we're meeting again on the 23rd. No, 27th.
Well, the bank balance, there is a balance, so we're not
We
in
need
debt
to.
yet, but
We
we
need-
will be soon. And we have, I don't know, I could probably find out, we have about 20 outstanding bills, and maybe we can pay 10 of them. I don't know. And I don't even know which
At
10.
the end of the month.
We
I think, we need to have a list of some ideas.
Oh,
What's the total? Eddie?
It's somewhere in the lines of almost 50,000 that we owe. We still owe township. There's a decent chunk in fact payroll taxes that we owe. We still owe previous consulting a good chunk. Utilities. We just paid payroll. I talked with Sue, and the next bunch of money coming in will probably likely just pay payroll again.
When is the consulting piece?
It's for Maynard, and we still owe them 19 to 20,000.
okay, that's, is that our,
Previous
Audit?
auditing.
Yeah.
yes.
I've also been dipping into the first pipe and
Oh, we haven't, but yes, that did happen.
what's the U.S.'s board?
Yeah.
Everywhere for
That's not like including the invoices that are below $1,000, and there's a folder,
I saw that.
I
probably a lot.
And there was even some money to owe citizens for tax for payment.
Ken, I understand your position. I think a line of credit that we only utilize at the bare minimum sufficient to cover our immediate bills might be appropriate.
we'll know that soon. Until we have an exact number.
Yeah, well, a line of
I
credit.
don't want a line of credit, but if we have to, we have to.
Yeah, I know. But I think that might be the way to do it, is only take out just as much as we need to cover the bills. And as soon as the money comes in, we pay that back, or pay off as much as we can to when we can.
Yeah. So I think it disagrees with that.
I mean, we have to be able to pay our bills.
We have to.
We have to.
And that's, we cannot, and again, I think it creates stress for our clerk if he's looking at this pile of bills going, what am I supposed to do with it?
I think it's creating stress for everyone.
And I don't think that's fair, to put, our office in that kind of situation. I know I would not want to be in that situation, to be told, okay, pay these bills, but you're like, if I write that check, there's going to be a problem. And that's not fair to put that burden on that level of employee. I think we need to, we definitely need to get the information, and I believe we don't violate, if you just give us information that you can look into this line of credit that supposedly village manager talked about for bank
My
already.
understanding is that under OMA, information can be passed out to council as long as we don't discuss it between each other, and that the village president can put out a straw poll and say, hey, I want, and ask each trustee individually, what is your thought on this? What is your thought on it? And he can collect that as long as we don't talk between each other.
Right.
That does not violate. So, that would be a way that we could manage it, where if we found it was necessary to take out a loan of some kind, the village president could handle it that way, pass the information out, get each of our response individually so that we're not talking amongst ourselves, and then act upon
Yeah.
that response.
And I think that's the way we need to move.
Sounds fine, but I can tell you this, I would, as the next couple of weeks go on, I'm gonna be checking the bank balances daily. And if it does seem like we're in a position where we have to get a loan, then we have to get a loan. And I will bring it to this council at our next meeting. But I would know better then how, as you mentioned, you don't wanna borrow more than you need, but
Yeah.
but you do have to pay all your bills, at least the ones that we've already incurred. So the future bills, we might be able to do something about, but the ones that are existing exist, and they need to go away. And if we can't do it out of our fund, then it requires a line of credit to do that. We have to do that, because we cannot operate this way.
Well, I think that needs to be done sooner than later. I would agree.
Well, I'm saying 2 weeks is the
Okay,
time it's.
wait 2 weeks, you gotta have that, so that when that meeting comes,
Okay,
we are.
well, how about this?
moving forward.
I mean,
Can't
we
look
can't have
into it.
special meetings every week either,
No, but
so.
we can't look into it 2 weeks from now. We have to have an action plan in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, 27. Yeah, 2 weeks done.
We'd have to have that action plan there, and that's why I think what Larry said is that, if in the next week, that information should be gathered and shared with us so that we know what the situation is. And if you find money, that's great. You say, hey, we found 30 grand, we don't have to take this loan out, this is gonna pay these bills. I mean, I wanna see that next week. I don't wanna wait till the end of next week and start on Monday and then say, okay, yeah, we found out we do have to do this, and then start from that point on.
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't,
not take payroll.
and I don't want to be in arrears on any of our payments, especially if it's going to federal or anything like that, because that would be very bad. So we want to make sure we don't get in arrears on any of our bills.
Yeah. And I think this next, I think item E is going to help us get some answers.
Yeah, because I know we also, besides paying the wages to the employees, we also have the FICA and Social Security that has to be paid back to the federal government.
Payroll taxes,
Yeah, payroll taxes. So those,
That's what we are. Payroll taxes. Say what?
We have to pay those.
About 17,000.
yeah, so that to me is a high priority, has to be handled immediately.
Yeah.
well, if we need a loan, fine. If we don't, we don't. But we won't get a loan that this board doesn't approve ahead of time. I will not.
Right, but it's.
I will not
should-
seek a line of credit based on just my position. I won't do it.
Well, I think Linda was saying, you could send out something to all of us and
Yeah,
say,
you can get our
this is what I
approval for a
think
straw
we need,
poll.
and this will help,
Alleviate our budget
Yeah.
issue for the moment.
and we can all independently, write back to you separately what we.
Yeah, we can do a straw, you can do a straw poll to the
Well,
council members, and
then-
we can, and you can get our approval through that we can formalize at the next formal council meeting.
Having heard that, Larry, you're absolutely right. But Ashley sounds like she has some numbers that sound pretty official, or at least recent, and they're new numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to make a guess, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, what are we in debt for to get to even Steve?
Just under 50,000.
Wow.
I don't think she has all.
I was gonna say, he has way more. He has way more numbers.
I'm just trying to get the number
Yeah.
out there so that everybody has.
Are those all due immediately or net 30 or?
It's probably. I mean, we also have.
Interest accruing on college debt.
Okay.
I mean, there's still also. I mean, DDA for Heritage Cup. Okay. Still, we're supposed to have money set aside of 82,000. Yeah, we don't have money set aside for it.
And that brings me to another question. I want to point this out to everybody here. There is some money that the DDA received in a grant that apparently we don't know where it is.
It was used to pay bills.
Is that a true statement or not?
I don't know on that one.
I'm just curious. We can't find money.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know that. Keep in mind, I got called last night, so I haven't spent any time of this, but in the few conversations that I had with Pat, what was happening is they took that grant money and at some point it was deposited into the bank account and had it sat for a while. But as they just proceeded and ran out of money, they started dipping into what should have been that reserve fund, that restricted fund, whatever you
You say they, but really it's Matt, the previous manager.
I'm not going to keep blaming him. He's not the only one that allowed this to happen.
Yes.
Could be wrong, but you keep blaming him and it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound good because it just makes it look like you want paying attention,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Hey, he's
Yeah, I mean,
since you let him go
thought we understand that.
and trying to help me, trying to figure out what's going with him. He's been a real decent guy about it. He made some mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But he had you guys all coming at him, just burying him constantly. And I just leave him be. It's time to move forward.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think you've heard, we all feel that we all have responsibility on how things got this way too. I feel really bad about that, but you're right. There was blame to go around multiple areas, so it's not just one person's fault. But yeah, we do need to just move forward from that. At this point, should we move on to the treasurer position, Ken?
Yes.
Okay.
Leads us to item E, treasurer's position. Larry, why don't you kick that off?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, somebody had,
As I say.
I'm sorry, go ahead, I didn't.
I like the idea, but actually, I think that what Ashby said, what he said, would it be an idea to create like a spreadsheet of all our invoices that we owe, what those due dates are, and then prioritize it for payment based on what we have for. As one, what's visible to everyone.
Absolutely.
Village owes this, everybody already works. Yours, and with that due dates.
Thank you.
Because one might be in May, one might be in June, take the mail.
This one, the other party.
All do. All right, well, let's start with Jan.
The time has come.
I think that's the way, that should be the action plan. And then, based on what you said at the next meeting, hopefully
And I'd like to reiterate that, you know, I appreciate Thomas gathering the information, but it is not his headache.
Yeah. Yeah, and he is doing a fantastic job of trying to support us in this endeavor to try to sort things out. So just want to let you know, Thomas, we really appreciate it. Yeah.
Great staff.
You're happy.
And we're part of this position just because we've had some personnel issues that we're trying to work our way through.
Okay, so
Back to the treasurer position, I turned it over to you, Larry.
yeah, treasurer position. Prior to letting our village manager go, the village manager and personnel committee, which is Ashley and I, did interview Scott out here. And Scott said he was willing to take the position. I don't know if any exact terms were worked out, but I think maybe I can let Scott speak to that. But I would really like to see us bring Scott on board to try to help get this sorted out and to help fill in as the treasury position, at least for now.
I guess the only thing you really should know up front is I really only required $1. I want to be an employee, but it's just the way things are right now. I just want to help, and that's my goal here. Okay. You should know. We've talked about the good job that Thomas is doing, brand new, but also your bookkeeper is going to leave as well. And if she hasn't already left, I'm going to talk to her again tomorrow. She said that she would come in next week, but then things happened. I understand that she changed her mind, and so now I'm just telling you up front. I have volunteered to do this, to collect money, pay bills, sign checks, etc. But you're talking about a bookkeeper and figuring out what's wrong with your software, and I'm not qualified to do all that. When I was treasurer for the township, all bookkeeping actually gets done in the clerk's office. People think the treasurer is the accountant. It's not. The treasurer is the manager of the money. Now, I will help any way I can, but I am not qualified to be able to come in next week, he'll fix BSNA for you. I don't have the knowledge. I would be able to figure it out, I'm sure, eventually, but you talk about worry about hiring a village manager. In my opinion, it's more important to hire a keeper and get this money in place. Because even when you go to hire a village manager, what are you going to tell them? Well, everything's all screwed up, but here it is. I don't say how you should, but
To your point, I think that's kind of how we're in this situation because we hired a village manager and then had no treasurer bookkeeper, and here we are now. So that's a very good point.
money working fraudulently. And it might, you might hire a bookkeeper and then it might take some training of a week or two. BSNA should supply some of that. They should also be able to come in. I don't know what the problems are. Like I said, I thought I was done, but then when I got some calls last night and said, okay, I'll come in and help, but I didn't make that call till last night. And I hadn't really been able to see any of the numbers yet, other than what actually what your staff put together today. As far as hoping that there's some money getting somewhere else, it's not.
It's wishful thinking.
But what you will have is you have your Act 51 money coming in that eventually could pay for Bob's project, which could possibly be done before Memorial Day. We also have some statutory / constitutional revenue sharing that should be coming up from the state of Michigan, but it's only about $27,000. And based on my cursory, hey, Scott Blake here, you're about 150 in the hole right now. And, and some of that's gonna, be taken care of once taxes start coming in, but that's not until the middle of July. It's like revenue. And that's what I'm really here for, is to make sure that those taxes are set up correctly, that the bills are prepared correctly, and that they go out, and that I'm collecting that money and putting it back into the coffers. So, yeah, long term, you're not bad, except for, I think, as you're budgeting, austerity budget, in my opinion, for the next year. Except for things that Bob thinks needs to be fixed, but speed limit signs and these kind of things that are just have to be put off for one, in my opinion. I know you didn't ask for it, but I think it's good to just get all this out in the open so it's not a secret what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never supposed to be a secret.
Right. Because I think that's how we got to this point. So I think it's just better to get it all out in the open.
Yeah.
How much students they're coming a little bit and the CDBG about 10,500. And I'm working with them to try to figure out how to get that money dispersed for us. And that's from tax with Buckley Port.
What?
The achievements for them that they need to give us.
That we have not gotten from people?
Right, to email that I sent all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like you need to show the proof that we've spent the money. Yeah.
And part of, it wouldn't have fixed all this problem, but some of the money that's coming from state of Michigan has been delayed. So, and I'm going to talk to Dana next week just to see how it's affecting it. I know that the township they can weather that storm, but maybe she can tell me, yeah, but we were supposed to get that last month, and now I'm not hearing until, there's so much that's going to have to go on for me to even get on board, just even getting logins to Oakland County and to your servers here and setting up bank access. And there's a lot that has to happen. So next week, I might just be getting online,
That's fine. But I would like to bring you on now, and then maybe in 10 days, our council meeting, you'll have a chance to get your feet wet, and then you can come back to as a council with maybe a proposal on, hey, you should contract in a bookkeeper. Like I said, there might be contract services we can, or you should look to hiring a bookkeeper, because we have the, if Sue's willing, I hope Sue's willing to continue to do some work next week, but I know she indicated that she was, this week would be her last, but I don't know.
I'm trying to use my silver tongue to get
Yeah.
I've not always known.
But in any case,
When I spoke to her today, she was contemplating if she only worked 2 days a week, she would be
Yes.
very happy.
yeah, and I
I
think
think
if she's even
we
willing to
should
give us that, just to help us
I don't see any
graduate.
reason to wait on hiring a bookkeeper.
Yeah, I know, I wouldn't either, but I mean, we have a line item for that in the budget with money allocated, so we have appropriated fund. As you know, our cash flow issues are there, but we have the line item in the budget to cover that cost.
Well, your cash flow, as far as, you know, if you're looking at your expenses, again, if you kind of pushed out hiring the village manager for a little while, I'm not going to take any money. So your salary expense is going to be down.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw out, just because you said that I know I'm out of line here at this point. You're not going to save that much money by not giving the rest of your employees a 5%.
No, I would
It's
not.
not worth alienating them and saying, hey, you're not really worth it. We should.
That is not what I was saying. Please don't think that. I want everybody to make a fair wage. I just think we have been really loosey-goosey with our
We don't really
raises.
have employees.
At the same
Right.
And think about it, you've got
12. We've got 12 employees.
12. I guess I'm
Today?
Well, not that was what we had.
Wait a minute.
I mean, you've got two.
Aaron?
Well, there's 3, and then
There's
Mary,
2
and
village,
then 1, 2, 3, 4.
and then we also have Mary comes over, does planning.
council.
I can think of 5.
I can think of 8.
Yeah, that is it.
There's 8.
I was told it was one.
Well,
So,
3 in the office, actually 4 because Matt Jenkins
Well,
counts.
correct.
oh, that's right.
No, we pay participants.
But he comes out of our budget. That's all I'm saying. He's not our employee.
No,
For his raises.
We pay him.
no.
We pay him in the DDA.
I signed a check for it.
Yeah, it reimburses.
So we do pay
Yeah,
him.
but the DDA reimburses us out of their budget, though.
And I think that's,
Yeah, it's okay. Anyways, however many employees we have, I do not want to undercut and make them feel less than. I want, good employees. I feel we have some good employees right now. I want to retain them. I'm just saying, it was just something I was thinking about. Just throwing ideas out of ways to save money.
so maybe instead of putting the village manager ad out, we should be putting a bookkeeper ad out? I mean, that would be a smaller salary as well.
We can do both.
I think
because
both.
We can be, we don't have to start the manager. We could have somebody on board. I don't see everybody rushing to, beat on the doors to get in
I
here.
know I actually put together a new job description for that bookkeeper position.
I do.
I work with him pretty quickly. Who else is on the I don't recall, I'm thinking your
Personnel.
Personnel?
Larry.
Yeah, Larry, we need a third person. There's supposed to be 3 on.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, I'd like to address that, but I don't think it's on our, I don't know if we can do that if it's not on the agenda.
We haven't talked about it. We just can't vote.
No, I know that when we had the discussion, Alex said if he wasn't on, the evaluation committee, he'd be interested, and I,
Let me talk with my wife too.
Is this right, Alex? Now we're finding out
No, because I'll hear about it.
the deep, dark secrets.
I just recall that when we were kind of looking who was gonna step up, and it saying that, that would just be one more committee, and that evaluation committee was taking a lot of our time, so.
So Scott, you basically said you're willing to come on board and help us out for $1 a week
But there,
or whatever.
it's the dollar period. I saved just $51 just now.
Isn't he good?
There are a couple things though, we're gonna need to make sure if Copeland County is gonna be bonding me as a treasurer, because I don't know, I know how they handle township treasurers, I don't know how they handle the village.
Yeah, I believe the treasurer needs to be bonded. That was one of the things Sue was
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the one.
reluctant to do, is be bonded.
Exactly, well, I am too, and so the second one, and.
Why are you reluctant?
Into this.
Why are you reluctant to be bonded?
No, I'm not, I'm reluctant to do this unless I'm protected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so the second one will be, we either talk to MMRMA, your attorney, or someone to find out if there should be some errors in omissions insurance involved here, just to cover, and that's to cover me. I'm not taking any money, but I want to make sure, I don't want to be the next scapegoat down the road, or
Right.
start blaming me for things and hold me financially liable for anything. I want to make sure that doesn't happen. So there's insurance to cover.
Absolutely.
For good reason. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's my only real requirement at this point.
I make a motion to hire Scott based on his requirements
Hey,
For the position of.
for the position of treasurer.
Okay, great. Good motion.
I will second it, but I would like to put a condition on it. I would like it to be done for a period of time. We can always extend it. I'm more than willing to do that, but I want to see how everything fits together.
That's fine with me. If you want to call me next week, I'm striped out. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I know that. I truly do. I just,
I feel,
And I
I feel
appreciate
with
it.
his conditions, I don't know why we would have to have a limit at this point.
Well, but I could end
Unless
up
it's
making
extended.
mistakes, or I could end up really butting heads with some people and it doesn't work out. But you can just let me go.
I was gonna say, then we'll just let you go.
that's fine. All right, never mind.
Yeah, and save $1.
Just trying.
Okay.
I don't know, when do you want that dollar up front?
There was a motion, and there was a stipulation put onto that motion.
No, I said, that was just discussion.
Oh, okay.
I-
All right.
for
And
the
I would like to further the discussion more.
Okay.
And that is, the village cannot or will not take somebody for $1 a year. Persons get paid that work for us, be it Bob, be it the DPW, be it anybody. So he will come in at the salary we pay for a treasurer. And then we feel good because we're not burdening him thinking, okay, he's working for free, because $1 a year is free. But you can and should earn a salary.
I don't want it.
You can give it to whoever you want, but this board isn't gonna just take on employees for free. It just doesn't make sense for us,
Well, if we
because
could,
then we feel,
Makes great sense.
I think it's,
Legally, I think there's
Just,
legality.
you know,
Actually, that's,
I know, Matt, already talked to your attorney about it. There's a number of issues, because I can see what's gonna happen next is, okay, we'll stop paying you all this money. You need to be here at this time and that time. That this was supposed to be a very part-time position to make sure the checks were getting signed and taxes were being taken care of.
you get to dictate the rules of your employment, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, the village is
But his rule is he gets paid
is willing to compensate you for your time.
Because it's such a part-time position, how about for $10,000?
How about we pay you $40 an hour?
No.
no.
Too little or not enough?
Then he has to worry about his hours. I think that we need to respect his conditions.
I don't work that way.
Okay, so you're saying 10,000 a what, week, month?
year.
A year.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty low.
Well,
if he's willing to work for that.
Okay, but at least we could say we're paying you something, 10,000 a year. I feel
That'd be
better
like
than $1 a year.
$200 a week or something like that.
So if we agree to make this motion, adjust it to pay you a salary of 10,000 a year for your services, and you get to
Insurance
dictate,
and coverage that he.
Yes, absolutely.
no question about it, no question.
but just FYI, the money's going to BGYA.
That's fine.
Hey, that's great.
Great. Yeah,
So should we amend the motion? then
yes.
to incorporate
Actually,
these terms?
why don't we just make a new one if you don't mind, Alex?
Sure, no problem. I revoke my motion to have Scott as a treasurer based on his requirement.
I second that.
I,
Those in favor?
Wait, hold on. Monday
Well,
morning.
we're voting on him renewing, or revoking his old,
We're gonna do a new one.
yes.
Some-
So, to revoke the old
Well,
motion, those in favor say aye.
They just have to
Aye.
withdraw.
he just has to withdraw.
Those opposed, that motion is now
Okay.
been terminated, or at least disposed
What
of.
would you like?
I think a new motion to hire Scott at $10,000 a year and insurance that he requires and any other things that he requires.
Certification.
I'm sorry,
No, you're good.
certifications that he requires for employment as a treasurer.
Second.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know how we stand here and tell Bobby can't have $12,000 to fix a sidewalk so people don't get hurt, and then force someone to take $10,000. I just think, I don't think that makes any sense. In my mind, that makes no sense because, you know, this gentleman has come to us, and I know how it goes. When we have people that do this all the time, and as my son-in-law says, don't steal his blessing. But, you know, someone has stepped forward, and his terms were in a way that made him feel comfortable doing the job. And then we told him, sorry, you have to take money because we're not comfortable. I think his comfort is much more important than our comfort.
Or there's a balance between the two, where he's comfortable and we're comfortable.
Yes.
And I really
I
think,
would love to only pay him $1. I mean, say, obviously, we need the money.
yeah, I would like to have a fee, pay him up to $10,000 per year, depending on what the attorney says is legal
Yeah,
for
yes,
us
that's
to give
the only
him
thing I wanna know,
compensation
that
and
it's
what he
legal,
feels
I'm
is
good.
adequate. I mean, that's the only concern I would have, is that we need to have something that's
Okay, I can get
going
on
to be
board with
legal.
that.
And,
But I don't,
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, if he's willing to take less than the 10,000, I don't see why we wouldn't do that, as long as there's not a
I
problem.
didn't want to do it that way, but I just want to be clear. I'm doing this. I'm trying to
Yeah.
encourage more volunteerism around here. I'd like,
Well, our CERT team needs members.
if I could stay in that long, I'd be able to do it.
And we are appreciative of that, truly. And if it's legal, I'm sure we would
The other
be.
problem is we'll divide it out over 12 months too, because I don't want to be locked in as, for the whole year.
Hey, we can do it month by month, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it would be handled. It would be, I mean, we're on a 2-week pay schedule, so whatever that total amount comes annually, it would just be broken down on,
Gotta make sure we're doing things
1/26th of that amount.
Right.
Every 2
It's
weeks.
just for the bookkeeper.
Yeah.
Pay everybody the same.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way we would do it.
Okay, you want to remake that motion, Alex?
If you,
Or Ed?
You don't have to withdraw it and then re-motion.
Okay,
You just say, I want to amend
I
my
want to amend
motion.
my motion to, I don't even exactly know what I'm voting here. To hire Scott at $10,000 a year, up to $10,000 a year
Annually? Yeah.
annually, and whatever insurance he requires as a request
For certification.
for certification for treasury.
Second.
All right, moved and supported, but I have a question for Scott before. Are you a notary by chance?
No.
Do you want to be one? Oh, you're a notary?
It is.
Oh, wow. I want to have one at the office because
Thomas is also.
you're a notary.
Oh, you're not?
You want to be one.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, Thomas needs to become a
Yeah.
notary.
What county do you reside in?
Public.
Okay, you can call the clerk's office tomorrow or get online, but you can and should apply for, to be a registered signer, and there's a fee and the village will pay it. So
Yes.
you will get to be a notary on the village's dime because we're the ones that are gonna utilize your services. So please feel free to do
And he also
that.
has one, so we'd be double.
Well, yeah, like
Double
one's
dip.
not there, the other is. But up till now, we didn't really have anybody, so it was tough. I had to go to the bank to have a clerk, notarize things that were village.
Actually, I don't worry.
Who is?
Sue.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Is.
Maybe
I'm voting.
she is.
Yeah.
And maybe,
And maybe with Scott's charm, she will embrace instead.
there you go.
We can get her for the is maybe at least for the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
yeah.
But it's really longer term. And I'm going to say something else that you guys might not much care about, but Matt has volunteered to walk me through a number of things over the phone. And I want to make that clear, just being really decent about this. He's going to show us how to do a couple of things, because I couldn't even do payroll right now. I've never done it before. And we need to make sure we understand these things. And I know Thomas he's got a rudimentary understanding of accounts payable, which is great. But we need to get him more up to speed, and it's somewhere down the line, get him some more training. For right now, we can't afford to send maybe trying to get a wing in there. I'm going to see how I've already assumed that he's
We just like to make it clear, we want you to stay.
And we did pick up on that, which is great. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
Scott,
much
if you
for
could
that.
pass on to Matt that, much as it was a tough decision on my part to let him go, I definitely appreciate that
he
he's
understands.
that he's willing to help us out. So let him pass on my appreciation that he's willing to help her.
and I have one more task for you.
Okay.
All of this positive energy that's then you just got to bring that every day you come into town. Yeah.
I'm not always that.
Yeah, we're gonna hold you to it, you know, that.
I just love your positive and your
Anyway.
encouraging attitude, and I appreciate that so much, that you're being positive
did-
and encouraging, so we.
There was a motion and a support, and I just threw out that anybody who works for the village who wants to be a notary can and should become one, and cost should not be a burden that they incur. We, the village, would happen to pay for it because we use the service.
It's very nominal.
And there is the motion. If there's not further discussion, I'll do a roll call vote.
Okay. Green,
Yes.
Mold, yes. Brooks,
Yes.
Hayden,
Yes.
Fokker,
Yes.
Quismer.
Yes.
Welcome aboard.
Hey,
From aboard.
And I think it make a well known that he could done for $1, just getting him in there would have made me happier still. To get this mess cleaned up.
well,
I
I'm
would've brought him
willing to
$1
pay him
every day.
$1 right now, and then,
All that money.
well,
Yeah.
well,
Scott, I hope you have.
it's a step in the right direction, Bob, and you're exactly right. The money spent is not the important part. But I do feel as a village, we
Especially about
need
that
to
bookkeeping.
have a,
Compensate people to front row.
Okay.
great motion, and I think the village is going to be very well served by the decisions that we've made tonight.
I make a motion to adjourn?
Or,
Well, for the minutes, yeah, there's one motion and 5 supports. Just kidding, but nonetheless, all those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? The motion passes, and this is now adjourned.